Excuse
Se chiama Aarti. Small speaker here. You think you bought for growing up person?
Yeah.
Wait. Check. Okay. I'll pass. You can pass it, right?
No. I'll pass around as much as I want to say. Until it. It's for the microphone.
Yeah. So if you want to take a feed from this, you can take it.
There's a XLR feed, but do you have an additional XLR?
No, I'll have just the quarter.
Let's see.
Just an extension. Yeah, yeah. So you're mounting the extension part. Just use the. Just use that. Yeah, you can get a excellent.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, okay. That's it.
Check one. Prem sa Gulay Vrindavan Bihar Lal ki. Check. Devotees, let us please stand as we perform Pavitra or Purification Mantras. Today, as we say our final goodbyes to our beloved mother, our neighbor, our friend, I want us to put our hands together, close our eyes and bow our heads. For those who belong to the faith of Sanatana Dharma, we take that form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And for those who do not, take whatever form or formless entity that you hold there as that divine consciousness as we utter these mantras of purification. So we close our eyes and bow our heads. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namaha. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavastham Gato Piva Yah Smarit Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Vyantara Shuchehe. Om Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Om Tat Sat Adyah Srimad Bhagavato Mahapurushyasya Vishnuраgnaya Pravartamanasya Brahmano Dvaite Paradhe Shvetavadha Kalpe Saptame Vaivasmanvantare Ashtavimshatama Yuge Kali Prathama Charane Jambo Dvipe Vistindis Khande Trinadeshe Shri Galbyu Grame Om Shri Phalgun Mase Tritya Tithao Shri Shukla Pakshe Revati Nakshatre Brahma Yoge Taitil Karne Mangal Vardine you take your name in your mind, you take the family name and the name of our dearly departed. Namanah Kayik Vacha Sikman Siknatakta Sakala Doshe Parihartam Shrute Smrite Puranokpa Praptartam Mata Shri Anti Shri Samskaram Aham Karishe Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Devyai Save Vire Sangapada Kramopanishade Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita tatkatena manasa Pashyanti yam yogino Yasyantam navido sura suraganaha Devaya tasmai namaha Vasudeva sutam devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Kurum Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Place the flowers and so on into the box. Devotees, you can have a seat. So devotees, we are about to perform the rituals for the Antiesh Samskar. I understand that part of the ceremony will be at the hall in Guides funeral home, but the ritual aspect will be done today at this time. Now, many times we go to Hindu funerals or even other events, pujas, and we find ourselves sometimes a bit disconnected with what is transpiring, with the ritual. So what I will attempt to do today, this morning, and you all can judge how successful I am, because if you don't understand, see how much you understand after, is I will attempt to explain some of the rituals and why we do it. Because it is important that the children, they have decided to do this properly. First and foremost, I want to say, it is very heartening to see young men taking that mantle, because many times people look for a convenient way of doing things without doing it properly. And they have decided to do that, and it's very noteworthy that they have decided to do that. The word Antieshta or Antieshti, Anta in Sanskrit means the end of. Antieshti means the end of life, or this period, this journey of existence in this particular body. And it is believed that when that appointed time comes, there is some aspect of our being that moves on. Else, we would have just disposed, all of us, of the body with no regard, no prayers, no pujas, no memorial service, nothing. So in all faiths, all belief, there is some idea that there is some changeless entity, some entity that goes beyond the body, some spirit, some, as we call it, some Atma that moves on, that transitions. So we believe that this death or this giving up of this body is a transitioning. And the rituals that are performed are really for purification. This body will be committed to the fire in some aspect, right? I know it's the crematorium, but it's still fire. It will be committed to that. And when that is done, the physical body will be no more. And because it's a solemn occasion, the rituals that are connected with it are purificatory in nature. So for example, you'd see them sprinkling water. Water is said to be that great purifier. So we ask that this body be purified And then the body will be adorned with various items. Chandan, sandalwood paste, for example. Sweet smelling oils, which are the essence, and all of these things. It is the preparation of the body that had served this individual so well for committal into that holy fire. So the ritual itself, this portion, is very simple, and it is indeed determined that it will be for purification. And you would have seen initially that they would have placed various items into that box. It is believed that at certain times, through thousands and thousands of years, the sages would have found that there are certain constellations that make it a little bit more difficult to transition. And because of that, some extra rites have to be performed, and they've done that just before we started. And they will utter a few more mantras at the funeral home to mitigate that difficult period. It's called Pancha. Okay? So I hope that's an introduction. So they will begin by walking around the body and sprinkling the water. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Sharir Snanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Sharir Snanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. So you can I'm not that photogenic, so I'm going from there. Yeah. So the offering of Chandan. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Chandanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Chandanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham. And the two hands. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya. Okay, essence. So the anointing with sacred oils, essence, and so on. So you just walk around and spray around. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Gandham Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham Gandham Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham. Namo Narayana Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Do this already or? Now devotees, we have the offering of mala, or what is called pushpa mala. Now pushpa means flower, and mala is the idea that it has been formed into this garland. If you notice that there is a reason why this mala is burst. One is obviously the practical reason that it has to be placed into the box, practicality. But there's a deep significance of using a flower mala and bursting it. You see, the mala consists of flowers, some of different types, some different shapes, different sizes, colors even. Those represent the various lives that we undergo. And in Sanatana Dharma, we believe that these lives, they form a cycle called samsara. Each flower represents a birth and a death, a life. So you would have all of them. Puranapi Maranam, Puranapi Jananam. Again death and again birth. This is the cycle of life and death. So initially, that mala would have a cycle. But is this the beyond and this is the end all of all of our existence? To continue to come back into this life and experience this world and then die and come back and be reborn, then devotees, that would lead to futility. The purpose of our existence is actually to break free from this world of samsara. So this is why the mala is birthed, to break free from this cycle of birth and death. So we believe that with enough births and deaths, enough experience, enough evolution spiritually, that we will break this cycle of birth and death. So we ask Bhagavan Shri Krishna that eventually our dear mother, in whatever form that she may take, may she always continue to evolve spiritually and break the cycle of birth and death. Make it in place of that. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya. All of them place one, yeah. Shri Pushpam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtam Gotrasya Pretasya. Pushpam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtam. Om Bhudhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Pushpam Pushpamala Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham. Om Bhudhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Pushpam Pushpamala Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatham. Now devotees, ask everyone to please stand. We now have Aarti, or the Adoration, by the waving of this light. They will circumambulate the body or do pradakshina 5 times. And when they have finished, I will invite all of you all, anyone who wants to, well, we're a smaller number this morning here. So most of you all will come and do your Aarti. You'll take a flower, offer, and do your Aarti. Those of you who are so willing to do so. For the females, those who are coming up, you please just respect the humility and the solemnity of the occasion by covering your heads with a otani. Alright? So, if you all have a program, there is a bhajan dedicated to Bhagavan Shri Krishna just after the order of service. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shriyam Dvare Mahaghore Andhena Tamasavrite Tatravalukamartaya Deepoyam Tava Upatishtatham. Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare. दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जय कृष्ण हरे. श्री कृष्ण हरे. दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो. जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो. जब कोई न केवन हारा हो, तब तू ही बेड़ा पार करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जय कृष्ण हरे. श्री कृष्ण हरे. दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. तो चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे. तो चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. Those who want to perform Aarti can do so now, and the rest of you all can probably have a seat. We have flowers here. Bhajan says, "O Lord, when will I be blessed with the opportunity of getting your darshan?" Hari ho Ram milan kab hoy, andizwa lagi rahi. Hari ho Ram milan kab hoy, andizwa lagi rahi. देहि अर्थवा में इंद्रियन पहिया, देहि अर्थवा में इंद्रियन पहिया, भाव के पंथ चले, ओ भाव के पंथ चले, अंधिजवा लागे रही. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय, अंधिजवा लागी रही. पाप निश्चय में जीवन निंदिया, पाप निश्चय में जीवन निंदिया, भजन के भोर भये, ओ भजन के भोर भये, अंधिजवा लागी रही. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय, अंधिजवा लागी रही. जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया, जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया, जीतो तब राम मिले, ओ जीतो तब राम मिले, अंधिजवा लागी रही. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय, अंधिजवा लागी रही. जाग वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु व्यंजन, वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु व्यंजन, पाकर भांज बले, ओ पाकर भांज भले, अंधिजवा लागी रही. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय, अंधिजवा लागी रही. ओम यम द्वारे महाघोरे अंधेना तमसावृते, तत्रावलोकमाटाया दीपो यम तव उपतिष्ठताम्. Om Arya Bhotasya Pretasya Vritisthane Shavaninti Ishate Pindo Maya Diyate Savopatishvata. Om Bhutavasya Bhotasya Pretasya Maya Diyate Savopatishvata Shrikarpanasya Salamre Maya Diyate Okay, so is there anyone who would like to say a few words here? I understand that there's a short program at the funeral home. So, if there's anyone who would like to say a few words here before we go there, can do so now. Don't all rush at the same time. So. No one? You know, you can just offer some words of comfort, condolence. So everybody will speak down there, right? Everybody will speak down there. Okay, so down there will have more people, huh? So if you're shy now. Alright, so devotees, this is the portion we'll leave in a little while, because as I said, some of the rituals will be done there, some of the program will be done there. Now, as I mentioned, many times we seem confused and we ask for guidance when a time like this happens. And I can tell you from my experience growing up and even now, when someone passes away, especially in a Hindu home or under Hindu rites, it is the most challenging time sometimes to deal, not particularly with the rituals, but for what everyone tells you what must be done. Someone tells you have to do this, you have to do that, must do this and you must do that. And because of a lengthy period of cultural adherence, we have lost maybe the fact that we need something in our dharma, in all religion, called applicability, which means that it must apply to our present circumstances and in today's world. This period that the boys will undergo is a period especially dedicated in honor of their mother. And under Hindu rites, there's a period of 10 days of intense fasting and devotion in her name. And the pindas, which are the rice balls or rice cakes or however you want to say it, are offered. These in no way, form or fashion, are consumed directly by the individual. Say that again. These pinda in no way, form or fashion is consumed directly by the individual. So the individual doesn't come and eat it. Chances are if you get up, you might see dogs and or insects and so on eating them. They are done as a symbol, a representation that you ask that Bhagwan Shri Krishna in that realm, or whatever realm, whatever journey that she is on, that she is well fed and taken care of, and in that comforting arms of Lord Krishna. And as we mentioned, this transitioning is just a period where we take that name and we offer Tarpan Tilanjali water. The water doesn't go directly to her, and so on. And this in turn gives us a little lesson. It is better to treat someone well, and I'm sure these boys would have done it when they are alive, than to have to undergo this sort of probably penance when someone passes away. So I always like to tell people, you see, whatever flowers you have to give me and so on, give me it when I have the nose to smell and I can appreciate its beauty and so on. Give me it now, you know, birthday coming up, maybe, you know, Mother's Day, all of these things, or just a Friday or a Tuesday. You don't need any particular day. So these rites and rituals are done in that name, that Atma moves on. Let me ask you all something. How many of us have a picture of us when we were younger days, however younger was, let's say a child. We had, what color hair we had that time? Black hair, right? Now we have gray hair, or which is salt and pepper they call it sometimes. And or some of us have copper highlights and or blonde hair. Whatever the case may be, I'm not pointing out anybody directly, right? I'm just saying. And we do everything possible to slow the aging process. We buy all kind of fancy cream to put on our eyes and our face and so on. Some of us do surgeries and so on to slow this aging process. When we reach a certain age, we go on all kind of diet and so on, right? And we try to slow the march of time that inevitably catches up with us. There's nothing that we can do, really. The most we can do is enjoy that period that we are doing it. We don't fight time, because time will catch up to us. When that appointed time comes, we can't argue. It is time to go. But there is something within us, even though we change our body, we may change our body, we understand that that person that I was at 5 years old is the same person that I am now. Not so? Even though every single cell in our body has changed. So all the physical attributes have changed. But there is something we appreciate that continues on that path while we are alive. And that, what we call Jivatma, continues after death. And all it carries with it is something called Vasanas. Vasanas are impressions that are left on the soul by our experiences and our thoughts during this life. So when we speak about the word karma, you've heard about karma? Not the bang karma, just the, not the Bodo people and so on, none of them, right? Karma, we tend to loosely translate as action. But it's not only action. I can see someone in the road and don't physically slap them, but I have all the evil thoughts in my mind. Do you think that karma doesn't act? Of course. What about if I have a duty to my child and I neglect that duty? I haven't done anything, but karma still acts. So karma are those acts, thoughts, and omissions that we make that cause us to have to bear consequences or reap the fruits. No one can do that for us. So our dear mother would have left us today. She has to bear the consequences of what negative karma she has accrued in her life, but she also has to reap the rewards for whatever good karma that she would have undergone. Any science student will tell you that is the law of the universe, action-reaction. Okay, Newton's third law, I believe. So we pray for this period, and they will undergo fasting, and I hope you all know how you have to fast, right? So the older people will tell you that you have to sleep on the floor. Are you ready for that? You have to abstain from what it is, all chunky food and all foods that are bitter to the taste and so on. You have to eat very sada food. Are you ready for that? Okay. Fasting is something very personal. We can't direct. Suppose someone is medically ill, devotees fasting will be different for them. So I won't impose that on them. I will say at least the greater your fast or your vrat, the more blessings you will receive. So this is the second part of our ritual today, and that is to do with these young men. They are given the opportunity now to perform these rituals. So their karma, in their karmic bank, they would deposit all that good karma. So they are given that opportunity, and they have seized that opportunity to perform these rituals and to perform it the proper way. So that being said, I will probably say a few more things down at the home. So I understand that someone here has a few more, some words. Somebody said they will speak. Okay, so everybody will speak at, down there. All right. So with nobody speaking, what we'll do is we have to make 5 stops before we go at the funeral home there. So those 5 stops, you know what those represent? Just before we go, so that when we're down there, those 5 stops represents the 5 elements that make up of our human existence. Everything in this world is made up of 5 elements: earth, fire, wind, water, and something called ether or akash. And those 5 elements that made up the body, we are asking them to symbolically return from where they came, return to the elemental realm. So each stop represents one of that, the 5 elements. So this is what happens when we make those stops. We call manzil, we perform Aarti and so on, and we say those mantras, and then the body is committed there. So, Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. We have one of the manzils being done here, and then the others as we go. So devotees, those who want to take a last view of the body before we head down can do so now. You just stand and you come this way. You can offer a flower. We have some more flowers. We can use it out. Just say your final prayers before that body goes down to the funeral home.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what happened? Yeah, how you doing?
You good?
Yes.
Everybody base?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How you doing? Yeah.
I did one by one.
All right.
All right, what's this?